gentlemen, welcome to the world's wildest, most incomprehensible, varied, and extravagant Nintendo Switch review show. It's the Switch It Up Show, and I am your host, Seth Trav, today, joined as always by our friend Glenn.
How are you today, sir?
Oh my god.
I mean, sorry.
I have been losing it, my dude. It is insane. I'm barely holding it together. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the world has been wild as anything. And with everything going on, our friend Glenn and I, we have families, we have jobs, we have things that we have to do. And just in everything, it has been fairly difficult to record. The anxieties get to all of us. We want to let you know that we are here for you. If you need to talk, hit us up at PreachCast, at the Switch It Up Show. And until then, we're going to let these sweet, sweet beats ride. Anamanaguchi, ladies and gentlemen. A new album is out by them. Check them out on any of the platforms you stream your music from. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I have got a great little family-style game called Potata, Fairy Flower. It is $12. It's available now, and you get 60 coins when you purchase it on the Nintendo eShop. Reveal secrets, uncover hidden treasure, and don't forget to save the world! Potata is a puzzle platformer adventure story about a little girl's magical journey through a world filled with good and evil. Play as the oddly named Potata, a novice witch who is still getting a handle on her powers. Help Potata save her village from stinky spores, evil mushrooms, spiders, and other dark forest spirits. The game world is inhabited by fantastic creatures, each with their own personality and story. Learn the secrets your village is hiding and make new friends, or maybe new enemies? Gameplay involves traditional platformer mechanics, puzzles, boss battles, conversations with village inhabitants, and forest exploration. Some careful thought is necessary, and the hardest moments may leave you racking your brain to find a solution. It's from Potata Company and Over Games with a Z. So, ladies and gentlemen, this game is, I believe, rated E for everyone, and it is definitely a very good, I want to say, not middle school, just before middle school level game. Like, it feels like that sort of age. I think that's like 8 to 10, 5 to 10, maybe 4. Let me say, I don't know where you are.
You trying to figure out how old a middle schooler is? And you said
no.
5?
I'm trying to figure out an age range that this game is perfect for.
Oh,
I want to say
okay.
4 to 10 years old, perhaps. Maybe 4 to 12. Let's throw that around, because it's not bad. I enjoyed it. Okay. The game is for everybody, ladies and gentlemen. It definitely is. But it's got that, like, young style vibe, sort of like what's the one with the overalls? Rainbow Bright reminds me of a Rainbow Bright kind of game, So you're running around a lot. You're a witch. It's got a Muppet vibe. You're laughing. I see you. Everything you're doing here. It's a good, decent, wholesome game. Old style animation. What's the one that did the Rockabilly and Fern Gully? Who's that guy?
Is Don Bluth? That type of animation? Yeah.
Yes, Don Bluth. Maybe. It reminds me a lot of those kinds of characters and that animation sort of style. the worlds and the levels are very, very well done. It is a good-looking, nice platform puzzle game. And they do blend both of those genres very well. The music is great. The actual game itself is, at times, it's actually surprisingly challenging. The puzzles in this game involve a lot of it's essentially Minesweeper, and I think that's why I had a hard time with it, because I always had a hard time with Minesweeper. It wasn't easy for me. I was a fool. But yeah, it's like that. I'm guaranteeing you my niece could solve it much quicker than I did. But it, the challenge is there for someone who is as dumb as me or as young as a child. So you should definitely check that part of it out, because it is very, good. It's very well done, I want to say. It's a little short, but again, I think it's supposed to be, because it is seemingly geared towards a younger audience. And it's hard to say. It's just a very nice, sort of wholesome game that does everything it's trying to do fairly well. So because of that, I'm going to give Potata a 4.5 out of 5.
It's a very respectable score, my man. Very respectable.
It's a very good game. And as I speak about it, I see that it could go the range of age, depending on your cognitive abilities at 32, almost.
There you go. All right, well, I'll try to give you. We'll take a flip over to the unrespectable and more mature in age with the 20th anniversary Duke Nukem World Tour 3D.
Oh my!
For $9.99 on the Nintendo eShop, and you get 50 gold coins when you purchase it. And this game, of course, is available right now for you to enjoy. Came out just a hair over, not a few weeks back. Very, very small. You can have almost no space, 454 megabytes, so pretty tiny compared to some of the other games we review here on the Switch. So I'm gonna give this a shot. Let's let me read the synopsis for you. Prepare myself. I don't have any water, so we're just gonna see how this goes. Shoot like it's 1996, this time with even more butts to kick. Join the world's greatest action hero in Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour as he saves Earth once again, saving babes from across the globe. Blast your way through hordes of ugly aliens in 4 classic Duke Nukem 3D episodes. An all-new 5th episode from the game's original episode designers includes a new weapon, new music from the game's original composer, and all new lines from the original voice of Duke himself, John St. John. That is not easy. Not easy, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know.
What a name.
I don't know how he does it. That's a name. I want to do the whole thing for you. Can't do it. I feel like I'm going to cry right now. Just can't do that. It is Switch enhanced. That comes with grips for gyroscopic aiming support, motion controls, HD rumble, only on the Switch. It has campaign co-op, which was available in the PC game. It was really cool because back then a lot of the shooters they only they only had multiplayer, but it was more like head to head. And Duke had the ability to play through the regular game with your friends, which I thought was really cool. I killed the music in case I have to go grab water because you tried to read two paragraphs of that thing. It's not easy. They do have head to head multiplayer online as well. They call it Duke Match. It's got the new episode as well, created by the original game designers. You have the new weapon called the Incinerator. They have new voiceover pieces from John St. John himself, the voice of Duke Nukem, who I think is on Cameo too. If you want to go and get him,
thank God,
and get him to talk to you, or hey, if you enjoy my impression enough, let me know on Twitter. I'll do it for half, guaranteed. It has new music from the original composers, and you can play with either the remastered 1996 look. I'm going to be okay. We'll put that back up. The 1996 look, or you can look at a remastered look in true 3D with higher fidelity and frame rate. The game itself, like, I mean, like, some of the first games that I played, like, video games in general, I played, I played, like, Sonic and stuff when I was real little, but once I started playing, like, any type of PC games, I played all types of different shooters. Like, I played Doom, Duke Nukem, Hexen, Heretic, Wolfenstein. Like, those were, like, my jams. So when I saw that this was coming to the Switch, I was like, I gotta check this out. And it's definitely kind of like it's a throwback for me. Like, the music sounds really good. It's just as I remember it. It's the same thing, but like, it sounds good. And playing it, like, hearing that music, I'm like, this is a good time. But I will tell you right now what is not a good time, and that is the controls. It is brutal, horrific. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Trav talked about on our previous episode how a game that came from PC, how it doesn't really necessarily translate over to a console in terms of controls, and how that can, like, kind of ruin it. And this is definitely a good example of it, because it is very, very hard when it comes to aiming. Basically, you're moving around with the left stick and you're controlling your aim and your look with the right stick. And there is no, like, a game we play a lot is Destiny, and they have and they have some some auto aim support. Where if you're kind of like in the right area, you're gonna get it. You get zero. Ladies and gentlemen, because they're using the same type of crosshairs that are on the PC. As you move the stick, it moves across the screen, but you could literally be a pixel off from, like, shooting the enemy, and you're gonna see the bullet go by, and it's gonna leave a hole in the wall. Like, you're gonna know, like, you could just put the cursor right there, like, right next to him, and you're gonna miss every time, unless you're right directly on top of these enemies that are moving in their, like, kind of 90s, like, jerky little movement. It's gonna be hard. And I remember when this game turned on, it's like, which difficulty do you want to play under? And I'm like, I always used to play this, like, on the third, like, setting, like, which was probably like Come Get Some or something like that. Like, so I was like, I'm like, I'll do this, no problem. Like, it's not hard in the way that, like, the game is difficult. It's hard in the fact that the controls are so unforgivingly brutal that, like, there are times where, like, if you're going into the room, like, you're dead if you can't necessarily move the stick over to the exact correct spot that that the cursor needs to be at in order to take down this enemy. And what's cool about this is this thing does have almost like a DVR function to it. So as you're playing, it's running and running and running, and once you die, you can rewind and you can jump back to, like, right before it was where you died, or even further, or anywhere in the level that you were playing. So you don't have to necessarily start from scratch, which I thought was super cool. But I mean, I'm telling you, man, there's certain parts where you're going and you're trying to get some health, and, like, it's hard to, like, run down.
It's not gonna happen.
It's just not. It's hard to, like, run down a hallway and shoot at one of these enemies when your aim needs to literally be perfect, because there's no, like, there's zero aim detection or anything like that. I'm pretty sure you can play. I'm pretty sure, at least on PlayStation, you can play with, like, a mouse and keyboard. That's an option. I don't know if that's an option here. When you scroll down, it says that you can do TV, tabletop, and handheld. But, like, I'm telling you, you're gonna have a rough time trying to do much of anything. And then on top of that, the difficulty setting kicks in, not in the fact that the enemies are difficult, but because resources are more scarce. So not only am I getting wrecked by these enemies,
Resident Evil situation.
Yeah, not only am I getting wrecked by these enemies, but, like, there's not really any health kits or anything like that. So, like, man, like, it's brutal, but it looks good. It sounds good. It's very much in some ways like the same type of game, and this thing has been remastered so many times, like, hand over fist, on pretty much every, like, modern console that, like, you can imagine. So it is available on a lot of different forms. So if you're just looking to play Duke Nukem because you want to play, like, with better looking graphics and some of the cool features and, like, the extra levels, I mean, seriously consider, like, first of all, it's $10. So it all depends. Like, you can get a whole bunch of games on Switch for $10. So in one way, maybe it's way too expensive. Another person might say, it's $10. It's not that big a deal. But if you want to be able to play it and enjoy it to its fullest extent, I just don't know if the Switch is, like, necessarily the best console to play it on. So I think you're going to be more frustrated than, like, having a good time. Because I'm telling you, it's punishing at some points. But if you can play with a keyboard, it would be easier for sure. I would vastly prefer the keyboard arrows to aim than the stick. Like it's rough. But that being said, there are things about it I like. but the controls like really hurt it for me. So I have to give this one a 2.5 out of 5. That's a little generous.
Ooh.
It's a little generous. It's just, man, it just stinks, man. You can have the, like you and I could do the best podcast in the world, but if our mics are absolute trash and no one can hear everything that we say, it doesn't really matter,
That's a fact.
Yeah, disappointing, my man, disappointing.
Yeah, I can see that. Disappointing and surprising things today on the Switch It Up show. Per usual, we switched it up all over the place. We had a very childish game for everybody, Potata, and we had the King of Dukes, Duke Nukem. Remastered on Nintendo Switch 18th edition. Yeah.
Sounded a little bit like, what's his name? Macho Man.
Oh, yeah.
The cream will rise to the crop.
And we have risen, ladies and gentlemen. I have been Seth Trav. He has been our friend Glenn. He's at From the Crib. I'm at Seth Trav. Together we're at Switch It Up Show and at PreachCast on the Twitter and all over the place. Be sure to get at us. Let us know how you're dealing with everything. We hope we're able to entertain you in any way, shape, or form. And if we haven't, you can always switch it up.